patrzcie sobie. Dużo nie mogę, bo tutaj też groźby. Jestem na Lubieszynie. Lubieszyn, przejście graniczne. Tutaj Gestapo z SS podrzucają inżynierów.
More videos are coming out, documenting the transfer of illegal immigrants from Germany to Poland. Polish authorities are not responding, but the Polish people are. They have had enough and are protesting more and more strongly against illegal immigration.
Bezpieczeństwo, tak? W szczególności obserwujemy kraje zachodnie, no i jest to niepokojące, co tam się dzieje.
Czy w krajach skandynawskich, czy we Francji, wszyscy mówią, jest dramat. Jest dramat, te kraje już nie przypominają tych krajów, którymi były przed zalewem imigrantów.
That is why the residents of Skierniewice do not want a foreigner integration center built in their city.
Nie robimy polityki.
We are not politicians, we don't do politics. We are simply doing this as residents, because we live here. If we don't take care of this, no one else will take care of it for us. The mayor assures that no such center will be built in Skierniewice, but not everyone believes him, especially after it turned out that 2 illegal immigrants claiming to be minors were sheltered in a local orphanage.
Chciałbym też, proszę Państwa, żebyście...
I would not like you to make us, the local government, a scapegoat, because in reality, we are not the ones inviting illegal foreigners to Skierniewice. We are only enforcing the law, because no one, including the director, wants to face criminal charges or disciplinary proceedings for not accepting such a person. The problem is that the victims in this case are not officials, but children in orphanages.
To już widać właśnie u nas.
Recently, 2 migrants were placed in an orphanage. Why in an orphanage and not in another facility? Because it was determined, perhaps based on interviews with them, that they were under 18 years of age. How old are they really? No one really knows, because it seems that they have already managed to escape from this center. That is why opposition councillors oppose the construction of foreigner integration centers.
Nie ma się co dziwić mieszkańcom.
It is no surprise that residents are simply afraid, because it has been proven, both statistically and scientifically, that mass immigration is associated with an increase in crime, theft, rape, and robbery, which is why we, as law and justice counselors, must firmly say no. Examples of violence by migrants are abound. Take Kościerzyn, where a 27-year-old Colombian man was detained by citizens after he allegedly rode up to a local resident on his bike and snatched her wallet. In Toruń, public outrage boiled over after a brutal attack by an illegal immigrant, which left a young Polish woman in critical condition. And here, a similar protest in Radom.
Ja pamiętam, jak tutaj w Gubinie
I remember how a few months ago, here in Gubin, we organized one of the first protests, and some people were shaking their heads. Today, it turns out, all of Poland is talking about this. The presidential campaign also largely revolved around this issue, and I think this shows that a well-organized nation is able to defend itself. Problems with the integrity of Poland's borders have been festering ever since the Civic Coalition, led by Donald Tusk, took power in late 2023. It intensified rapidly after the presidential election, which saw Tusk's candidate for president defeated. Since June 1st, since the end of the elections, we have had a mass invasion. This applies to both the border with Belarus and the border with Germany. German authorities are bringing unwanted migrants from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia, and other countries to Poland in large numbers.
Excuse me, do you speak English? Do you speak English? What are you doing here? We are from Somalia.
Nasz rząd nie potrafi się Niemcom
Our
postawić.
government is unwilling to stand up to Germany, and these people are being sent back to Poland. Regretfully, they are often in poor health. An example from a few days ago, Germany sent a man who had a broken leg. They sent us a man with a broken leg and no medical supplies. However, protests by Poles and warnings about the consequences of mass immigration failed to make an impression on the government, which often forces local governments to accept immigrants through financial blackmail. As an example, after councillors in Kożuchów passed a resolution against the forced relocation of illegal immigrants, they were denied money to subsidize the education of children. According to the evaluator, the submitted application cannot be accepted for implementation due to the fact that discriminatory measures have been taken in the municipality of Kożuchów. Resolution number 19/99/25 of the Kożuchów City Council on preventing the creation of centers for illegal immigrants in the municipality of Kożuchów, in the opinion of the evaluator, violates Article 9, Section 3 of the regulation of the European Parliament and of the Council. Therefore, the opposition is is demanding the resignation of Minister of Internal Affairs and Administration Tomasz Siemoniak.
Zdecydowanie miarka już się przebrała.
Things have gone too far. This is not a situation that we have been observing since yesterday, last week, or last month. This situation has been going on for about a year. The EU Migration Pact will come into force in the middle of next year. Tens and perhaps even hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants from Africa and the Middle East will then begin to arrive in Poland as part of forced relocation every year, if not stopped.